Every insight deserves an audience. Welcome to Atypica AI. The most successful companies are making their employees miserable, and they don't even know it. Here's what I discovered. 96% of managers believe their productivity tools are boosting performance, but 77% of employees say these same tools are drowning them in work. That's not a small gap. That's a complete disconnect. And after interviewing dozens of knowledge workers and analyzing the data, I can tell you exactly why this is happening and what you need to do about it. You're probably using at least 5 productivity tools right now. Slack, email, some task manager, maybe an AI assistant, calendar apps. You adopted them to get more organized, to collaborate better, to be more efficient. But I'm willing to bet that instead of feeling more in control, you feel like you're constantly playing catch-up. Instead of having more focus, you're jumping between notifications all day. Sound familiar? The problem isn't that these tools don't work, it's that they're working exactly as designed, but they're designed for the wrong job. See, companies think employees hire productivity tools to manage tasks or send messages, but that's not what's actually happening. Through extensive interviews, I found that employees are hiring these tools for 4 completely different jobs: to achieve mental clarity and focus, to feel confident and in control of their obligations, to create shared understanding with their team, and to protect the boundary between work and personal life. Here's where it gets interesting. When I mapped specific tool features against user satisfaction using something called the Kano model, I discovered that many of the features companies love most are actually what researchers call reverse features, features that make the product worse when they're present. Take real-time notifications. Every productivity tool has them. Managers love seeing instant updates. But in my interviews, employees universally identified notifications as their primary stressor. Sarah, a marketing director I spoke with, described it as a constant barrage that makes me feel like I'm drowning. Another executive called it digital whack-a-mole. You clear one notification and 3 more appear. The science backs this up. When a notification interrupts deep work, it takes over 20 minutes to fully recover your focus. But the average knowledge worker checks their phone every 11 minutes. You're literally never reaching full cognitive capacity. Your brain is running what one interviewee called multiple operating systems at once. Now, you might think the solution is just turning off notifications, but here's what's insidious about this. The tools create social and professional pressure that makes that impossible. When your manager can see that you've read a message but haven't responded, when your task completion metrics are visible to the team, when there's a little green dot showing you're available, you're trapped in what I call performance theater. One senior manager told me his team started optimizing for looking busy rather than being productive. They'd update tasks unnecessarily just to show activity. That's progressivity designed to satisfy a dashboard. They're making this worse, not better. Companies are rolling out AI assistants expecting them to reduce workload, but my research shows frequent AI users have 45% higher burnout rates than non-users. Why? Because AI doesn't eliminate work. It shifts the cognitive load from creation to verification. One executive described it perfectly. It's like having a junior assistant who means well but needs constant supervision. You spend more time reviewing, editing, and fact-checking AI output than you saved by having it generated in the first place. And because it's AI generated, there's pressure to use it even when starting from scratch would be faster. Here's the brutal truth. These tools are systematically destroying your cognitive well-being, and your company is measuring the wrong things to notice. They're tracking tasks completed and messages sent, but they're not measuring anxiety levels, attention fragmentation, or the quality of work being produced. The employees I interviewed described feeling controlled by their tools rather than in control of them. Work bleeds into personal time because productivity apps live on personal devices. One father told me these tools were stealing his presence from his family because he couldn't stop checking work notifications during dinner. This isn't just about individual stress. This is a strategic business problem. When your workforce is cognitively overloaded, when they're stuck in shallow work instead of deep thinking, when they're burned out and considering leaving, your productivity tools aren't making you more productive. They're making you less competitive. So what do? First, if you're a manager, you need to redefine productivity from activity to outcomes. Stop measuring keystrokes and start measuring deliverables. The moment you shift focus from how many tasks did you update today to what valuable outcomes did we achieve, you eliminate performance theater overnight. Second, institute what I call deep work protocols. Create no meeting blocks. Implement service level agreements for internal communication, 24 hours for email responses, 4 hours for non-urgent messages. Your brain needs uninterrupted time to do complex thinking, and it's your responsibility to protect that. Third, audit your tool stack ruthlessly. If you're using more than 3 productivity tools, you're probably creating more problems than you're solving. Every additional tool is another notification stream, another interface to learn, another place where important information gets buried. And if you're choosing tools, prioritize those with quiet by default notification systems. Make users opt in to alerts rather than opt out. The future of productivity tools isn't more features, it's more thoughtful features designed around human cognitive limits, not technology capabilities. I've already implemented these changes in my own work. I check messages twice daily, not continuously. I've consolidated to 2 primary tools instead of 6. I measure my success by outcomes achieved, not tasks completed. The result? Better work, less stress, and actual work-life boundaries. The productivity paradox isn't a technology problem, it's a human-centered design problem. The companies that figure this out first will have a massive competitive advantage because they'll have focused, creative, sustainable teams while their competitors are burning out their talent on digital busy work. Your cognitive capacity is finite and precious. Stop letting poorly designed productivity tools waste it. Your brain, your work quality, and your personal life will thank you. Want to learn more about interesting research? Check out Atypica AI.